So tell me, tell me something you wish that a Paul in your life or a Paul figure in your life would have told you when you were a younger Timothy. If you could think of something.
I think one would be just the whole area of running a household, like the financial aspect and how God has been really developing that over the years.
That is a big key to,
And you know, things about marriage, you know, communication, you know, I've learned a lot been married 27 years, but when I was first young, I didn't really have anybody that was just pouring their life. You're just kind of learning as you go along.
Yeah.
But those kind of things would have been really helpful, I think, for me.
As a younger Timothy?
As a younger Timothy when I was really young, yeah.
I think that's good. I think that's transparent.
Right.
I think that's open because that is a battle that a lot of young Timothys go through. That is a struggling area or a God opportunity area, if we should look at it that way. And so I'm glad you're open about that. So this is good. I'm enjoying this conversation. So I heard you say that you know, you were traveling along with a guy, and you know, it opened up a lot of communication and dialogue. Would you say that part of the battle of growing together is availability?
Yeah, it is availability because you learn more about someone. I mean, sometimes people are going through things and they just need to talk through them. And after we spent the day together and he got home, he texted me and said, you know, I really needed that. I was able to sort through some feelings, some thoughts that I had, and God really used those in my life.
Yeah.
And so, you know, time is so important in relationships. I mean, you know, people talk about in a marriage, just using a marriage as an example. My wife looks forward to every Friday we have together to go to lunch. That's our thing. Every Friday we have a lunch date together. And when we don't do it, there's just something about, you know, she'll remind me throughout the week we didn't do it, right? You know, but during that time, we tend to try to really communicate about a lot of things, but specifically things that she's got on her heart, that she wants to share, something we have on our heart, and we try to make it so that we really are able just to open up about certain things, and it's really important. The same with the Timothy. You need to make and set up a time. You've got to be that you talk, or you know, we're such in this texting age, but it's so important that you get some time together to communicate about what's going on.
I think that's great wisdom. All right, so let's go on to this next question. So it says this: how important is this to the life of the church?
Okay, so when Jesus went out and he told in Matthew 28, and he gave the Great Commission, he didn't say, go ye therefore and evangelize. He said, go ye therefore and make disciples. Make disciples. Disciples are people who are growing in their relationship with the Lord, but you become a disciple because someone has come alongside you to encourage you to stay in the faith, to grow in the faith.
Amen.
And a church needs to find venues or things that are available where people can grow. I am a huge advocate of small group Bible studies, and in those small groups, people would gravitate to other people to help them to grow. That's where life begins. So many of our churches, we gravitate towards the big kahuna, Sunday morning, Saturday night, whatever your church is.
Yeah, the crowd time.
The crowd time.
Yeah.
And we think if we had the numbers that come out that we had a successful week, but really where the growth of the church is when we see people come to you and said, I've really worked on this one area of my life. God is using this in my life. Either through a small group men's study, a small group women's study, or a one-on-one discipleship group. Those things are so important. When someone comes alongside, it helps you to be able to grow in those areas, or even pouring life, like you said, correction. Some of us, it's the correction that I think the Bible really wants us to see when someone comes from a biblical perspective and comes alongside with love. And you can't correct unless you have a relationship with someone. The oddest thing is when you are in a situation I'm a school teacher also, and to correct a child, but you don't have a relationship with a child, or to correct your own child, verbally, to tell them, hey, we should do this, when you don't have a relationship with a child. So the same thing is as adults. You can't come and share something with someone if you don't have a relationship with them.
That's right.
You really have to have that relationship with them to know. That's why many kids that haven't grown up with their parents, and then their parents want to come back in their life and they want to correct them, but it's very difficult because the relationship isn't there.
That's an excellent point.
So,
that is an excellent example.